Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. Just acknowledge it, knowledge with no scholarships. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. Breaking everything down, tech to politics. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. We don't tell you what you want, we just give you what you need. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. News, blues, and views from these Chi-Town streets. Topic Thunder.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the program they call Topic Thunder. Why did I just say they?
The same people that call Vader Vader.
They call him Vader. They call it Topic Thunder. Well, maybe by they, I mean our friend Biz, friend of the show, personal friend of mine, who you heard introducing the show that you know as Topic Thunder. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back in. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, doing Twitch. We're still doing Twitch.
We're still on Twitch for sure.
And I actually think we should show meeting. I think we should maybe focus on YouTube then. I don't know.
Hey, the Russian bots are our audience on YouTube.
Are they?
Yes, that's where they come from. Whenever the Russian bots show up, they come from the YouTube stream because we are live on YouTube as well. We archive everything there. All of the past episodes are archived on YouTube. So if you want to go back and listen to some of the past stuff, that's where you can find them easily. But we also do stream live on YouTube, and that's where sometimes random people or bots find us.
See, and we already have people showing up in what we call the world's most dangerous chat zone. That is, folks, the Thunderdome. And we already have a VIP. We've got Adrian's in there, Jordan, Aunt Chris, and CJ. And Brian.
Feels like it's been forever since we've gotten a chance to get together and rant about politics and science and goofy animal videos and whatnot. So I'm excited.
Yeah. And all apologies for that. It wasn't going to work out the last week, and life happens, and things.
Exactly.
Things just go on, and we take these opportunities as they are, and precious as they are. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I offer a toast to everyone here. $1 you owe $1 into the fuck up jar.
Yeah, sorry
if we had a fuck up,
but listen, I love that one, but that's not what I was going for.
Yeah, right. It is a hot number, as the kids say these days.
Bang.
Dad F. Brooks in the house, and Dad had in our 2-week absence. Just a quick FYI, as the Dad F. Brooks had a little spill at the old house and required some stitches. So in his lower leg. So we didn't. We investigated the bionic apparatus, but decided that at this juncture,
the Steve Austin, not Stone Cold Steve Austin, the other Steve Austin.
I would love to make some sort of relevant reference, but it's going to take me an hour to do so. So just a quick little beer here. Again, we're entering the summer months, and if you're a longtime fan of the show, love you long time. You know that in the summer months, I do enjoy myself a Pilsner.
If there's one thing you enjoy in the summertime, it is a Pilsner.
Like clockwork. When the sun gets to a certain angle in the sky, and you can start to smell the fresh cut grass in the air, my go-to beer is a Pilsner. For you ASMR fans out there. And we're going truth be told, I already had one right pregame the show.
It's all right.
Hey, but this is the Goose Island Supremely Crisp Pocket Pills. And folks, let me tell you, I like a Pilsner. And this is probably a screaming close second to, I think it was Pipeworks has a Pilsner. Or was it? I'll have to go back to the old archives, because I also keep, not only does YouTube keep an archive, I keep an archive of every website we visit, every show, so I can go back and check. But I think it was this one. I think it was the Pipeworks Pilsner. Anyway, this, folks, it's a good Pilsner. It'll remind you of summer and baseball. and sitting on a beach having fun with your friends and your family.
I'm surprised Goose Island is still around and a thing. That's a Chicago
That too.
thing.
Oh yeah, one of the original like
IPAs for all intents and purposes. Yeah.
and well, actually, this is a pilsner, so this is a lager. So that's a little bit different than an IPA. An IPA typically is much more hoppy, much more.
Gotcha. I thought
great.
IPA was like a version of beer, not like how am I'm not saying that right. I thought IPA was just a way to describe like non-commercial mainstream beer.
Oh, so no, so we're literally
So what would you call that? So like, cause you know what I'm talking about? Like there's Anheuser-Busch, right? And there's like 3 companies that own 90% of the beers
correct
out there, right? And then there's like the WWE of beers, and then there's the independents, right? But what do they call that for beers?
The independent brewers. One of the.
All right.
I mean, this and Budweiser is a lager. Thank you. Like Sam Adams too.
Mhm.
This is Sam Adams started as like a microbrew.
Microbrew,
right?
that's
But
what
it's
I
not
was
that,
thinking.
but it's not even
Craft
that anymore.
beer, that might
Craft
be also
beer. Thank you,
what I'm
Biz.
thinking. Yeah.
But you would not like consider Goose Island craft beer these days. And I with all due respect to the brewers and the staff at Goose Island, this is a solid beer. And folks, I'm telling you right now, the Goose Island Pills, Pocket Pills, is really good. But what has replaced that now are legitimately like bars that brew their own beer. So that would be a ton of places around the city of Chicago. That's when we talked about Pipeworks, I'm gonna forget all these places that I've been to all of them. We chronicled all of them on previous episodes of the show. But the places that are basically they bought a bar space, they carved out room to put tanks, or it's in an industrial spot and they rented the spot next to them to like, this is where we do all that. This is where our brewery tanks are. Those ones, the smaller ones, those are where the real the alchemy, the like we can brew in such small batches that we can really experiment. And if something doesn't work out, like, oh well, we didn't make 100,000 gallons of it, right?
Right.
But dovetails to go with Beguile. Thank you, baby. Thank you so much. See, I've been to Beguile. What's the angry one? There's one that was and help me out, babe. And of course,
I will answer Ryan Hansen. And yes, Goose Island is a regional beer, right? It's like Chicago's Sam Adams for all intents and purposes. Right?
For all intents and purposes, yes. And they have something very similar in Spiteful. Thank you, Spiteful. That has this lovely brewery that like you can walk up. They have the nice fold up. They can open up the space, the fold up doors and windows that open up. And then you walk in and it's Spiteful Brewery. It's fantastic. All the beers are very angry and very like heavy, but good stuff. Actually, Dead Guy is a really good one. Is a good one too. Okay, so we've started this whole show talking
about beer. Yes.
Wait a minute. Well, maybe
we have a whole segment for it. Might as well.
Why the hell not? The point is, ladies and gentlemen, cheers to you for making the show what it is and contributing to the community that is the world's most dangerous chat zone.
Right there.
I'm going to keep doing the point. I'm going to make this as weird as possible. We called headlines. Nobody else has called anything like that before. And
very unique.
Pioneers. Absolutely unique. We trademark it, but we're lazy.
We don't. Exactly. That is the most honest thing that you hear all night right now.
So, I don't know if you guys know what's going on, but north of the borders, Canada's basically on fire.
I do not know much about this story. We mentioned it a little bit in the pre-show prep. That the only thing I knew about it is that I saw a photo of Yankee Stadium with like a brown haze in the air, but I have no idea what caused it. So you're going to smarten me up here.
I hope to kind of this kind of hits in all of our arenas too. So there's a lot going on here. So just picked the Reuters article because it's easy to read and scroll. The U.S. East Coast is blanketed in an eerie veil of smoke from Canada fires. Schools across the United States, the East Coast, canceled outdoor activities, commercial airline traffic was slowed, and millions of Americans were urged to stay indoors on Wednesday as smoke from Canadian wildfires drifted south, blanketing cities in a thick yellowish haze. United States National Weather Service issued an air quality alert for virtually the entire Atlantic seaboard.
Jesus.
Health
Wow.
from Vermont to South Carolina and as far west as Ohio and Kansas warned residents that spending time outdoors can cause respiratory problems due to high levels of fine particulates in the atmosphere. Let me pause right there. And as an asthma sufferer, occasional asthma sufferer, it was difficult to breathe this morning.
That's crazy.
And
that's how bad these fires are. That's how out of control this fire is.
The rest of this segment is aimed to explain just that. Yes. So bear with me. It goes on to say it is critical that Americans experiencing dangerous air pollution, especially those with health concerns, listen to authorities to protect themselves and their families. That's from the president.
Will there be a large outcry of people saying the government is telling us what to do? We'll breathe whatever air we want to breathe.
All right. Well, we'll let them make their choice because at this point, that's natural selection, and we welcome Darwinism in all its forms here on the show. U.S. private forecasting service AccuWeather said a thick haze and soot extending from high elevations to ground level marked the worst outbreak of wildfire smoke to blanket the northeastern United States in more than 20 years. Actually, these reports are now it's from the air in New York is so bad it's like the 1960s, which I'm not old enough to understand, and the VIPs probably in the room will. New York was super dirty. It's dirty today. But what they mean is that there was unregulated pollution. There wasn't an environmental protection agency saying, hey, company, you can't just pump your stuff into the air, right?
Oh, imagine. And left to their own devices, of course, major corporations and businesses did the right thing, right, Brooks? They didn't just pump pollution into the air unfettered.
Well, I mean, right thing by who? The public or their shareholders? Ask yourself that question.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did the right thing by their shareholders.
That's their job. Reduced visibility from the haze forced the Federal Aviation Administration to slow air traffic in the New York area and Philadelphia from elsewhere on the East Coast to upper Midwest, with flight delays averaging about a half an hour. Schools up and down the East Coast called off their outdoor activities. As I skip it,
activities.
I told you I pre-gamed one of these delicious Goose
That's
Island.
That's part of the charm of this show, Brooks. Are you kidding me?
And Gigi reminds me that it's her favorite thing when I mispronounce things. Yeah. Yes, cool. Schools called off outdoor activities, including sports practices, field trips, and recesses to protect students. In Bethesda, Maryland, a high school moved its graduation ceremony indoors, while a Brooklyn, New York elementary school postponed its spring fling dance party. That's a weird. Why would you call it spring fling? Anyway, a school in Montclair, New Jersey, called off a fifth grade.
Look at that picture, dude. That looks like a giant dust storm. Like I've seen air that looks like that here in Lubbock in West Texas when there's like a what they call a haboob.
Oh, you don't say?
Or it's crazy, and I've seen sky like that before.
So,
but
okay. So while I'm where do I? Okay, so Ben. Well, just scroll down a little bit. Show me the chart and the two paragraphs above the chart, and I want you to take a look at one of the links I sent you at the Twitter link. It starts with wonder. Let's pull that up because it makes a beautiful tie-in. as I read this. In some areas, the air quality index, which measures major pollutants, including particulate matter produced by fires, was well above 400, which, according to Air Now, sets 100 as unhealthy and 300 as hazardous.
Holy shit.
Well above 400 at 12
Wow.
p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. They were experiencing the worst air quality in the country with an AQI reading of 410. 300 is hazardous.
Look at that. That's crazy.
All
right, so I have this video ready.
Okay, so actually the first thing I want to do is that map.
Got it. So hold on. Let me. You had me pivot, and then I pivoted back.
I'm sorry, because I want to do.
You're good.
Yeah. No, because we're going to do.
No,
yeah,
we can fly by the seat of our pants here. We're good.
Woo.
All right.
So
check this.
This is from airnow.gov. So for all you folks who wonder what the federal government does with your money, here's a map of air quality. You see what's going on here? Do you see the ginormous push of pollutants due to the airstream?
Yikes.
That's due to, okay, so we're measuring there is air quality, and if you wanted to zoom in on the map provided by airnow.gov, you can see
zooming gets tricky
because and it is sensitive too. There are
so I apologize.
Purple and maroon is terrible. Purple is awful. Red is really, really bad. And then you can kind of see how this is being very all the East Coast warnings, right? So what is it like inside New York right now? Well,
fucking awful.
Ben, I have a video. I have a time-lapse video. It's the NWS Twitter link.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
To show you a time lapse. I think it goes a 2-hour time lapse of what
this is crazy.
The air looks like in New York right now, or at least.
I've also again this is all seems very familiar with, but it's usually dirt, not smoke when I've seen this. But dude, check this out. 12, 12:30, 1, 1:15, 1:30, 1:45, 2.
It's orange.
Holy shit.
It's orange out.
11 to 2. It goes from clear to fucking orange. As orange as my fucking
Ben.
shirt right now.
Hey, Ben, what time is it? It's orange. Oh, shit. It's time for lunch.
Dude, that is bonkers. Gotta watch it one more time.
Yeah. Just to give you an idea of what is going on.
That is a brighter orange than my shirt currently, my Buc-ee's shirt, my brand new Buc-ee's shirt.
What is Buc-ee's?
That's crazy. But we've talked about them before. They're like the world's greatest gas station here in Texas.
Oh, in Texas. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Remember there was like one that was you mentioned it was
Wally's.
Like Wally's.
It's Wally's.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the southern version of Wally's. It's the greatest place on earth, and it's impossible. It is physically impossible to go into a Buc-ee's and not spend $100. It's not. You cannot do it.
Okay. Again, fair enough. We need a road trip.
Yeah.
But maybe not road trip when something like this is coming up. And Ben, I think this will speak to what you were saying. This is that link I had you go fish for.
The wonders of science link.
Yes.
Yeah, this is fucking crazy.
This is a view of a approaching sandstorm in China.
Yeah, this feels much more. This is like, dude, I have seen some shit that is very similar to this here in Lubbock in West Texas. It's fucking crazy. This doesn't even go long enough to really do it justice. The way that it moves, and it's this just giant cloud of dust or sand or whatever the case may be. It just rolls in, and it's eerie because you can just kind of watch it happen slowly, and there's almost nothing you can do about it. Obviously nothing you can do about it, but get the fucking side.
Get the hell out of the way, or get as far away as possible. Have a mask on you, have some way to kind of cover your mouth and nose to breathe, but like, shoot.
So do we know what started these fires at this point, and why the fuck Canada can't get these things under control?
The last question first.
Haboo.
There's just not enough fight. I mean,
Not enough firefighters to control a fire. Got
right.
it. It could be that simple, and that's cool. I get it. I totally
The
understand.
resources are not funneled in that type of national defense, right?
And with and since every natural disaster seems to be turned up to 11 these days, underfunded, understaffed, with also a larger, more powerful catastrophe equals what we just fucking saw in that time lapse.
And climate change has a lot to do with this too, because the way there hasn't been a lot of rain, it's been very dry.
Drought and lightning strikes.
I call it. That's what it is. Like I mean, in these situations, there are so many that it's
crazy because
warmer.
here in West Texas, we never get rain. It's very rare we get rain, and I think in the last 10 days we've had 8 days of rain. We never. And since I've moved to Texas, I said it multiple times to Adrian, but she says she swears there's been more rain. But I don't remember a time in my time in Texas where there were more consecutive days of rain than we've had in the last 8 to 10 days.
It's just what's happening to the planet is changing. Climate.
Welcome to the planet. Yeah,
it is alive.
I don't have Aerosmith. I still got to work on a new Aerosmith, but this would be the point where I might hit it.
You should, because according to our good friends at
Science and Tech.
At Science and Tech. Let's just call it Science and Tech, because I don't know the
or
English.lpais.com.
El País, maybe.
We are approaching a very dangerous threshold. Apparently, there are 9 seals, and we're already crossed the 7th seal.
What does that even mean? This is the scariest headline you've had in a while.
7 of the 9 thresholds that allow for human life on Earth have already been crossed. A new report quantifies the climatic and natural and pollutant limits that ensure the safe and orderly maintenance of civilization. This is from May 31st of this year. Back in 2009, a large group of scientists identified 9 limits that humans should not cross if they want the Earth to remain hospitable to civilization. These included, among others, the availability of fresh water, the conservation of natural areas, pollution levels, the ozone layer, and of course, climate change. Now,
I think the only thing that we care about out of that list remotely is maybe the availability of fresh water, only because we can monetize it.
If you look at it like that, I mean, yes, that's the only thing that they're, but that's the failure of short-minded businesses, right, and corporations that are just chasing.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but I noticed that it kind of sticks out.
It is actually. What are countries going to war after on that list, right?
Yeah. Not conservation of natural areas. There's never been a war over the conservation of natural areas.
You're hunting seals
or pollution.
We're coming after you, bro.
Right. You want to cut down this forest over our dead body. America. Fuck yeah. Yeah.
No. Water? Yeah. Just look at all the weird stuff that's going on in Africa. And then do a Google search and look up sub-Saharan water reservoirs. Put a map over the
go down that Google.
Go ahead.
Put
that map over the map of conflict areas in especially South Africa, and go figure.
Yeah, I bet they overlap pretty well. Yeah.
It's not oil. In 2009, the report identified the limits required for global ecosystem to be sustainable and secure. It is written that if these limits were to be greatly surpassed, a series of catastrophic changes would follow. But since then, security has been joined by another idea, that the Earth system will not be secure so long as it's not fair. The report includes this consideration, quantifying the notion that justice between humans and the rest of living beings, as well as future generations. It's legitimately telling us that if we don't get along with each other, at the very least in the support of the planet, that we are all doomed.
Enter Aerosmith.
If we had it, and it would be
Yeah,
this would
sorry,
be
and
yelling.
I'll get him back.
No worries.
I'll get him back.
No worries. This is from the report. Human beings are part of the global ecosystem. We're a large part of the problem, and we have a large part of the solution. This is a summary from Noella Zafra, co-author of the work. They go on to say, but the problems and the solutions don't affect everyone equally. There are some human beings who bear the inconvenience of sustaining the Earth's system. It's just weird when you read it, like sustaining the Earth's system. Like when you have to,
right? But there is a system when you think
think about it, and they're telling you that this thing is in jeopardy. I hope it has the same gravitas with you as it does me.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal.
The problems and solution don't affect everyone equally. And some bear the inconvenience of sustaining the Earth system, while others mostly benefit.
Mm-hmm.
It also so happens that a few people create problems for many. You pot smoking, tree hugging hippie. What are you talking about? Capitalism rules. And this earth loves capitalism. The planet loves capitalism. Just look, it's great. What's going wrong? I'm making money. My 401k is fat. My kids will be okay. I don't know their kids, so I don't care.
Right. Fuck them kids.
They don't have to worry about it. They'll have to grow up like I did in the suburbs on a quarter-acre lot with a couple of dogs, 4 bedrooms and air conditioning. Really roughing it.
Yeah, roughing it.
Really roughing it. It's a problem. And it's a problem because we don't take it anywhere near seriously. The fact that this is an ecosystem, we're part of it. We think we're very much separate. We've talked about this numerous times on the show. We think we're so separate from nature. Just not true.
You know, I want to talk about Courtney's comment about the moon base, because a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, maybe 2 months at this point, we talked about the moon, and I talked about my conspiracy that I think there's a possibility that we've never been to the moon, because my big thing is why have we never been back to the moon? And you made the comment that there may be a reason, maybe some intelligence that we don't necessarily know about, there's a reason why we don't go back. And I just saw a video, I think this morning, as I was getting ready for work, as I was flipping through my Facebook watch, that I guess there was a report that came. Yes. There was a NASA report, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't know if this is right or not. There's a NASA report that came out in the mid-90s that there was evidence, and the crew of the Apollo confirms this apparently in some sort of town hall-esque meeting, that there is evidence of man-made structures on the moon. That's what they found when they got there. These astronauts that did go to the moon, they found evidence of man-made structures already there. And there's really been no other. That blows my mind if that's real. And that's in that report. Why isn't that on the front? Why wasn't that on the front page or anything? Why isn't that a bigger deal?
Well, okay, so
I know we're off on a tangent
a little bit, but this kind of falls in line with some of the Graham Hancock stuff too, because if you're willing to acknowledge that our existing agreed upon model of human history is that we've been around for, by and large, just about 10,000 years, and that's it in our current form, in our current civilized, moved on from hunter-gatherer into agricultural, into like a dominating society form. just 10,000 short years, we might be missing quite a bit on the ledger of the planet and our actual history. There are plenty of structures across the globe that show alignments in synchronicity, from Indonesia to Mexico to Egypt to Russia to Illinois. There are mounds in southern Illinois that have that specific alignments to astronomical positions of constellations that we don't see right now. But when we use computers to roll that backwards, or I guess forwards, we see them, and they all target something much further in our history. So why not? Why not? Why? What? We're on the verge of, pardon my French, but blowing ourselves up, right? We're all human beings they just love getting to the point where they end their shit, right? Look at history. Look at history.
Right.
Like, we never solved the idea of like why we were so aggressive towards each other, and we're so like conquering towards our own species, when the possibilities exist that like the stars are beckoning us, that other planets might be out there, that we can put something on the moon, we can colonize Mars, we can. Again, there's evidence that Mars was once habitable, but something catastrophic happened to Mars. That the reason why Mars has 2 moons right now is because those are ejectites. Most of the 2 moons, Charon and can't think of the other one right now, but they're just like our moon. Our moon's part of our planet. Something hit our planet so hard that enough of our planet ejected into space that coalesced and became the moon. Something happened.
Again, I just saw this video. I haven't done much. I don't know the validity of it, because again, on Facebook Watch, you don't ever really fucking know. So I haven't done my due diligence on it.
Yeah.
And I promise I will do my due diligence on this and bring it to the table in the next couple of weeks. Because I saw they had video of the NASA astronauts like on a stage talking about this. So I don't know if it's like some deep fake shit or something, but I'll get to the bottom of it and bring it back to the table.
I'm of the thought that anything is possible, that what we have been taught and what we've been told, what we understand, what we don't understand, all matters in the absolute calculation of who and what we are, how long we've been here. And to short sight the human creature is failure on multiple levels. So who knows? Obviously, we want to stick with science. We want to do things logically and things that are hello.
Sorry.
Hello. But yeah.
I don't know that number. Also, I would have answered it.
That would have been great too. Take a calls live on air. Just call. That would be great. There's a show idea. We should do
maybe it's a Russian bot.
Maybe it is a Russian bot. All right. So, okay. You know how much I love to talk about this stuff. Something very significant happened yesterday in Ukraine. And it was that a dam was destroyed to the point where it started flooding.
Yeah, it was the government calling, because I was talking about that fucking moon landing. And they're like, listen, sir, shut the fuck up.
It was a voice that sounded like Tommy Lee Smith.
Yeah.
Men in Black.
Or Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones. Yeah. Tommy Lee Smith. You've never heard of him, but you will. That's good cover, Brooks. You fooled everybody.
Yes.
And while I've been trying to kind of pull back from a lot of the Ukraine stuff, and it's been kind of quiet as Ukraine has been plotting its counteroffensive. This is particularly crazy in that it is an ecological disaster akin to Hurricane Katrina rolling up on New Orleans and the surrounding parts of Louisiana. It is not only affecting communities and waterways downstream, but upstream, as this reservoir now is just draining the causeways that were created to help, like, okay, so we're going to build up this reservoir, but this water that we don't want getting out needs to go somewhere. They, like many rivers and tributaries and smaller waterways, were dependent on this reservoir providing water for them. There's already a bunch of pictures of like a bunch of fish dead flopping on like dried up riverbeds and stuff. And I did a deep dive on specifically, this is affecting what they call the Kherson region of Ukraine, which was a hotly contested area just 6 months ago, but is now considered Russian occupied. And there was a zoo, and I say there was a zoo in Kherson, and over 300 animals drowned at the zoo because of the water. And if you saw some of the pictures, which we're about to do, you can see the level of flooding, and this is just the start, actually. So that next flip, as we scroll down, Ben, this is really cool. Thanks to our friends at The Guardian. There's pictures have a slider bar that can show you satellite photos of before and after. That's what it used. That's what the dam looked like. And you can see something breached it, and in more than one place, which would be odd for like a fracture.
So before, oh my God, after.
Underwater.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been unfortunately. So you start scrolling and clicking on certain things, and I started clicking on videos of cats and dogs and goats and deer being rescued. Animals can show emotion in their eyes.
Shit.
And all of these animals had the look of PTSD, that they thought they were going to die, that they were swimming for their very lives, that they were basically on their last, kind of like, I can only tread water for so long. There was one kitten that was basically like just hanging on to a brick wall. And we're not even talking about human beings at this point, right? At least for the most part, there's some form of help coming for those people. But what was done with this dam is a war crime. Yes. And
so so something was done. There was an explosion of some sort.
Nobody's really sure. Let's again restate that this is Russian occupied and controlled territory. Ukrainians, of course, are blaming Russians. The international community is, of course, blaming the Russians. The Russians are, of course, blaming everybody but themselves, saying that it was a missile strike. The Russians are literally saying it was a Ukrainian missile strike. If that was the case, there would be radar evidence that radar would have been in a war zone. Missiles are on radar,
right? Yeah, that would have set off a lot more bells and whistles.
And even if they didn't set off all the bells and whistles, if the Russians are defending this place, right? This actually works at their advantage, right? Because it kind of delays the Ukrainian counteroffensive. It floods an area that Ukraine was expected to try to roll into and take for strategic reasons. It does. It also plays right into the Russian playbook, which is if we can't have it, then it's not going to exist.
Right. If I can't date her, nobody's going to date her.
And it's a literally scorched earth or drowned earth policy at this point. So again, Russia has a history of this. Again, you don't have to look too far or scratch too deep at all to find out what Russia thinks of people in general, let alone its own people, that they're willing to.
Right.
And apparently Russia is shelling people on the flooded side of their river just because there's rescuers there. So again, I might have a bias against Russia, but it wasn't Ukraine. that did it. Now I don't know who might have. I don't understand why
Right.
Ukraine would drown their own people. They don't need any more motivation to fight. You know what I mean? That it
Yeah.
doesn't like serve any purpose to rally the country together or anything like that. The country is already unified against Russia. They just want everybody. They want Russians to go home. Just you go over
Right.
there.
So I mean, I guess who does anyone benefit from this?
The Russian army does, in that the Ukrainians were reportedly already beginning to maneuver like small, like light armor vehicles. I guess the Ukrainians for months have been silently like demining strategic areas with little to no fanfare, very, very chill, like, hey, if you know about this, don't mention it. Certainly don't post pictures of it online or anything like that. But they've been preparing for their counteroffensive for a long time. This strategically delays them because I think what they wanted to do with Kherson, and we don't have a map of Ukraine, but they kind of wanted to do kind of like a sweep up. Kherson's an important like port town because it's like right on the river, right? So
Right.
they would gain access to like the Black Sea. There's a whole big strategy behind that, and of course, it also is a one step closer to going to Crimea, which again, Ukrainian territory, and what should be returned to the Ukrainians. So it absolutely, for Russia, they don't care.
Right.
If the Russians had any shred of honor whatsoever, the people who gave this order wouldn't have given this order. Right? They're like,
Right.
wait, what? This is not like that. Okay, as crazy as this concept sounds, there are rules to warfare. For some reason, we as human beings can sit down and agree upon a set of rules on how to kill each other,
Right. How to have a war.
how to have a war,
We have
but
rules.
we can't figure out how to treat the planet or treat each other. But priorities, right? We got to figure out first,
Right.
bro.
If we're gonna if we're gonna fight, we're gonna have definite rules.
Right?
Yeah.
So we've agreed upon a bunch of ideas that, like, yes, we shouldn't bomb civilian structures, hospitals, schools, we should. Those are not legitimate military targets, right? Dams, nuclear power plants. Those things are off limits because they go beyond the idea of like we're going to come in and like we have an ideological difference and you need to go, that's ours, or whatever, right?
Right. There's a tremendous amount of collateral damage that comes along.
This floods Ukrainian farm fields that produce valuable grain and rice for that helps feed Africa. This is being
There's a lot of layers.
There's a lot of layers, and it's being called ecocide. And this all happened, and today, when the United Nations is celebrating Russian Language Day, and the Russians currently sit at the head of the United Nations Security Council for some unfathomable reason right now. What are you doing, UN?
What are you doing?
As useless as nipples on a bowl right now. So let's I don't know where are we going from here, Ben? What did I send you? I don't know. I told you. Are we doing this? Yes. When you can get Texas and California to agree on something,
that is incredible. I don't know that what can they agree on? They agree on Florida is fucking crazy.
This is from The Hill too, so we don't do a lot of stories from The Hill. Let's be very frank. The Hill is about as far right as we'll probably get as a news source on this show, to be honest with you. We go about as far left as The Hill goes right, just so you know. We don't go completely left. But this is about as far as this one goes. And even there, like, whoa, wow. California, Texas make it legal moves against Florida's migrant flight. So we all know Florida has been single-handedly responsible for transporting immigrants from other states.
Remember, we talked about this months ago.
From other states.
They made much political theater out of it.
Not Florida. Again, let's repeat this. The Florida governor has moved immigrants from other states to sanctuary cities, Chicago, New York, I think San Francisco, Sacramento. What?
You're right. Remember that
What?
we questioned it back then that they were picking up people in Texas. Florida was paying for people in Texas to be relocated to these so quote unquote
Boston, I think, also too. So Florida officials are facing.
Remember Martha's Vineyard was the big
right?
one.
Yeah, because that's where all the rich white people go.
Right, that was the big political theater statement they were making. Is that the rich white people don't want when there were remember there was no rich white people there because it was off season. It was just the people that lived there during
Normally.
the off season, not during the vacation season.
Right. And it's always great when rich white people bitch about rich white people. It's fantastic.
Right.
Don't put those two and two together and see what they're really complaining about. From the Hill, Florida officials are facing potential legal peril over GOP Governor Ron DeSantis' migrant relocation moves. California Attorney General Rob Bonta. Sounds like a Star Wars
Great
character.
name. It does sound like a Star Wars character.
General,
yes.
General Rob Bonta.
Yeah.
It's right there. We just scratch out the attorney part. He's General Rob Bonta.
Yes.
And Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar, whose jurisdiction encompasses San Antonio, are focusing their criminal and civil investigations. Important note that there are two separate investigations going on. And criminal and civil court are two separate things, just so you know. On whether migrants were lured onto flights under false pretenses.
They 100%
Absolutely. They have flyers. They were given pamphlets that said jobs and housing were available. Just get on board.
And as GC points out, they were also shipped off to places like Boston and Chicago, and then told they had court dates in places like Texas and California, or Montana, or fucking New Hampshire. If they were in Texas, they were in Arizona, but their appointment was in New Hampshire. Like, they were purposely fucking with these people for political theater,
and also covered on these very airwaves.
Yeah, so I'm glad someone is actually going to try to hold them accountable for this.
It's insane that it's Texas and California forming like this super tag team, right? They're not exactly going,
but they're also I think they're obviously. I would bet Javier's. They don't say what Javier Salazar's affiliation is, party wise, but I would bet he's a Democrat as well.
From San Antonio, probably.
Let me look him up here real quick.
Oh, sure. But what the story goes.
Do your thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Everyone involved in the scheme from the moment of the 36 asylum seekers from El Paso to Sacramento, with New Mexico in between. And that includes the state of Florida and its employees who are involved. The state of California. I'm sorry, the state of Florida and its employees who are involved. That's who's being looped into this. The state of Florida.
So I guess he's a sheriff, so I guess he doesn't have a political affiliation.
Yeah, I don't think they run on Democrat, Republican, but I could be wrong about that. But
nevertheless, he's probably pretty liberal, I would guess.
Even if you weren't,
even if you weren't,
your duty to wait, what did you do to these people? You told them what and sent them where, and you crossed state lines. Where are you from again? Florida. Where am I? Texas. Why are you fucking with whatever we have going on here at all?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy.
Texas isn't getting involved.
I guarantee you Greg Abbott and his friends in Texas are not on board with old Javier here.
Oh, for sure not. There's no way. And
they
Abbott,
love Ted Cruz and Abbott and those guys. They love the political theater of the immigration crisis. Ooh.
And Abbott has sent his own immigrants, and rounded them up like cattle.
He's also part of that whole thing.
He's part of it too. So he's probably welcoming the distraction. Like, yeah, Yeah, Florida. What are you doing? Why are you fucking with our people? So the next video is to hey, remember that Dave Matthews song Ants Marching?
Oh, we're not going to talk about the Mars helicopter.
Did I put that next? Oh, I think I threw that in there and I messed up. Oh, we're doing it.
Because this was kind of interesting.
And something we've covered.
Playing hide and seek.
Something we've covered before. Yes, thank you, Ben. Something we've covered before on the show. Hey, remember the Mars rover Perseverance? No, remember the little helicopter they attached to that and sent up into the Martian atmosphere? They called the helicopter Ingenuity. We covered it here on the show. The helicopter is 2 years, is still operating 2 years outside of its expiration date. They literally thought that they would be able to get this thing up in the air, get some data, and it was going to crash.
No shit. And just 2 years now, it's still just hanging out, doing its thing.
So it's provided an amazing amount of data. And in fact, it's encouraged other parts of future Mars exploration missions to like the next one that's going up. Okay, so preservation is going around, rolling around Mars, collecting soil samples. Well, what's it going to do with the soil samples? It can only analyze so much in very limited basis. It does have like an onboard like laboratory, but it's very limited, obviously, right? Because that thing's the size of like an SUV. It has this little helicopter. It's like a GI Joe toy, right? Or a transformer. It has like
so cool that it's real.
It's real. It's on a planet. It's a different planet.
It's on a whole entire different planet.
It's on a whole other planet. So this Perseverance thing is going to collect all these samples, and there's a mission scheduled in 2028 that's going to send another rover over there that's going to be able to collect the samples, and then that rover is going to shoot a rocket into space and send those samples back to Earth.
No.
Real science. This is, again, why aren't we funding NASA more? Because this is cool.
Yeah,
right?
Holy shit.
Right? I don't give a fuck that you can make a missile and a warhead go hypersonic. Give me more helicopters on Mars.
Yeah, I'm in on that. I'm in on that idea. Yeah, more helicopters on Mars.
So and much like a lot of these projects, right? They design them to last. Like, oh look, it's rough conditions. We don't really know, and if we can get the first thing off, that'd be great. That's all we're planning for. This thing is 2 years past its expiration date, and
that's crazy.
The helicopter.
It's like living. It refuses to die. I refuse to go out like this. I will live on forever. And well past, yeah, exactly. Well past like human civilization, right? Like we just talked about, there might be man-made structures on the moon. Billions of years from now, a civilization may go to Mars and find this fucking SUV-sized fucking rover with a laboratory in it, but no people, and go, how the fuck did this thing get
Where did it come from?
Where did it come from? What the fuck is it? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's gonna happen a billion years from now.
For the V'ger reference. Well, okay, so what Courtney just referenced was the premise of the very first Star Trek movie, cleverly named Star Trek: The Motion Picture. It was the first. It was the first Star Trek. So we're talking like William Shatner's like Kirk, right?
Leonard Nimoy.
That generation, and this terrible alien presence starts approaching Earth and gobbling up everything. And it's terrible, right? Blah blah blah. And again, with the Star Trek, I was cramming Picard highlights and last night the Paramount show of Jean-Luc Picard. Anyway, so the Starship Enterprise gets sent out to investigate, and it comes to like you realize that at the center of this terrible alien presence that's just annihilating everything and making its way towards Earth is one of the Voyager satellites that just went out into deep space, became sentient, started coming back and kind of looking for its creator. It literally wanted to find its creator. So yes, we do have to kind of be careful about this whole thing, sending robots to different planets and
Yeah, because that would be crazy. That's a crazy concept for a movie because, yeah, wouldn't that be something? Like if we send this thing out there and it becomes sentient and it's just flying around fucking space and it becomes this fucking entity
So
on its
we
own.
have a couple other rovers on Mars, and I think there's also a couple of like crashed rovers, and I think the Japanese I know the Chinese are definitely trying to send something up there too. So it's not like if
Some crazy civilization billions of years from now is going to have their fucking heads completely blown away.
imagine this.
Yeah.
Imagine if imagine this Perseverance rover loses communication with Earth, but it's still alive and it's trying to call home and home stops responding. And
Right.
the robot's going, well, what am I supposed to do? My programming is to talk to
Get back
talk
home
to
or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to get my information back home. So I'm just gonna keep roving around until I figure out a way to get my information back home. Oh wait, like, there's this rover, there's this hunk of metal here. What can I do with this? And now here comes like 2 other arms and 4 more wheels and like and all of a sudden this thing's got legs and all of a sudden this thing's got a rocket pack and all of a sudden this thing is headed back to Earth looking like, why the fuck did you ghost me,
Hey,
motherfucker?
motherfucker. Yeah.
Like a real rotten date that went
Oh,
sideways,
that's
but they
fucking
have
funny.
your
Yeah.
phone number.
It suddenly becomes a
It
rom-com.
is absolutely the demise of Earth, the rom com. Actually, it'd probably be funny.
Yeah.
So, hey, I mentioned before we got off on that tangent, I mentioned the Dave Matthews song "Ants Marching." Here
Oh,
are
no. Oh, not this either.
oh wait, whoa, shit! I just not. It's Wonder of Science. No,
Yeah.
no, I didn't send that to
We
you.
already did the Wonder of
Did
Science
I?
one, but
The ants with the termites.
oh yeah, I fuck. Hold
Oh
on,
no!
hold
Oh
on.
no! Live.
I messed that up with the other
As long
one,
as I.
with the other Wonder of Science one, which was the Haboob, or
Oh
the
yes.
sand deal.
This is
Wait,
we
hold
don't have
on.
to we don't have to we can go right back to that to the fight.
Oh, here we go. Got it. Got it. Hold on. Hold on.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happens live TV, radio, podcast,
Yeah, fuck
internet,
it.
whatever you want.
This is what you came for. Like we
These
fly
moments.
a seat
We
of our
came for
pants
these
on
moments
this.
where we become very human.
All right. Got it now. All right.
We have
Ants marching.
what you're looking at here: termites and ants. And each species has set up a barrier between each other's.
Oh, that's awesome. There's like a
roads.
standoff.
And they're like, all right,
Like-
we're setting up shop here. You go there. You're okay. Well, we don't trust you. We're termites. We don't trust you, ants. So we're going to form up and form our own barrier. I'm like, well, fuck you, termites. Well, that's bullshit. We're going to form up our own guys to protect
just so
our
you
roads.
guys, just so you guys don't fucking intermingle with us.
That is
Wow.
It's not an IPA, Ryan Hansen. It's a Pilsner. It's the second one, so forgive me. But yes,
That is crazy.
look at the order. And don't we do the same thing?
Yeah, right. Yeah, we're very like, oh, your species is different than our species. So let's line up and make sure that you don't come across our fucking line, our imaginary line.
Speaking of species, Ben, we just discovered 5,000 new ones.
Jesus.
And how did we discover it? Well, the government's deciding who to hand out deep sea mining contracts to. And go figure, good. In the surveying of not like wildlife, but in a surveying of the seafloor to find out where the most mineral deposits are, they discovered 5,000 new pieces of life.
Dude, we've talked about this many times,
Crazy
but
ones.
Just another reason why the fucking ocean is terrifying.
Look at that thing that you got on there right now. It's like,
yeah, what the fuck is
it's
this
a
thing?
face hugger from Alien with a hand attached to it.
For real?
Yes. There.
One of the thousands of new identified species. What is going on? What is this thing? a species of gummy squirrel.
Sure. Now you're just making shit up. That's just Photoshop
That's the
right
X
there.
Games. That's X Games. That has nothing to do with it. What is this terrifying thing?
Like, go. What are you gonna do with
An
that?
unnamed urchin.
What?
Yeah, I don't know what to call that either.
That's living hell right there. And what does that thing eat?
How does it survive? What do the tentacles do? Are they poisonous? I bet they are.
They are definitely a deterrent from being eaten. But again, they probably catch like little things like plankton, and that's what that thing survives on. But okay, cool.
This fucking thing.
Look at that. It's like something you'd see in like Tool artwork.
Yeah.
That starfish.
Crazy starfish.
Okay, cool. Thank you, starfish.
Yeah, whatever. I've seen one of those.
Thanks for the starfish.
That's
Seen that before. These stories are bunk.
Yeah. Again, the ocean is terrifying. We have no idea what's down there. We have barely scratching the surface doesn't even do justice to the lack of knowledge that we have about what's going on down there.
This is just a small portion, I guess, of ocean floor that is from, I think, Hawaii to Mexico.
You have to keep in mind that there are large portions of the ocean that are so deep that we've never been there. Human beings and cameras can't get there because the pressure is so intense.
Or it's too
but
dark.
we know that we know there's shit down there. So imagine what's living down there. If we can't even get humans or anything to get down there because of the amount of pressure.
They've drilled through 2 miles of Arctica in Antarctica of 2 miles of ice to lakes below, and they've found life. So life doesn't need light like that.
Right.
It figures out a way, not to quote Jeff Goldblum, but to quote Jeff Goldblum, life finds a way. It always will.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to kind of leave you guys with before we get to my dad's favorite segment, the lightning round, is not only does life find a way, but art finds a way. And there's a Ukrainian soldier that has been turning their foxholes into pieces of art.
Oh wow! I guess that's something to do to pass the time.
Something to inspire your troops.
Sure.
Something to remind your people what they're fighting for, their culture, their identity, their right to exist as a people. Those are all under threat as Ukrainians. If you don't know what Russian tactics are like, you just have to crack open a history book. They're not pleasant. They don't play fair. They're thugs. We can probably Google 10 pictures of Vladimir Putin meeting other dignitaries, and he's sitting at the chair like a thug. Suit coat wide open, tie kind of astray, legs wide open, splayed out, trying to like show like I've got a dick.
Whoops, sorry.
And he doesn't have a very big one, by all accounts. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen.
So we have to show this last video before we get to the lightning round. They're Tip to Moscow's video that we sent in.
I completely forgot about that. Yes, Tip to Moscow did send in a video. Ladies and gentlemen, if you ever wondered, you
have definitely wondered
what it is like to hit one of those car
transport trucks. Yes,
with the ramp while it's moving and you're moving, and you're like, if I go 120 miles an hour and hit that ramp and he's going 60, well, what happens?
Good.
Yes.
Whoa!
Yes, you were gawking, sir. Gapers traffic.
It's worth seeing.
Oh,
again.
Absolutely is.
Good.
Because now we can focus on that. Here it comes. What?
Talk about not paying attention to the road.
Was it a Tesla?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
One more
but
time,
I don't think
because
so.
who doesn't love a car accident?
Who doesn't?
I mean, it's not like it's
I love that the immediate reaction from the cop is, God damn! God damn!
not goddamn, goddamn. Mid-air. That car is mid-air.
Unbelievable. That it was captured on video is incredible.
It's his body cam.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's incredible. So
So
awesome.
please pay attention while you drive. You're legitimately driving a missile. Just a iron missile, right?
Yeah,
Anyway.
exactly. Hey, Rick Jerding in the house.
Whoa, hey, duh. We don't get the wow, this is
Yeah.
a night of VIPs for sure. And not only
Holy
very important
shit.
parents, we have very important persons in here.
Yes.
Couple of first times. So well,
Yes.
hey, let's not dilly or dally, man. Let's give them what they came
We
for.
can actually maybe we get Rick to stick around and vote on the lightning
Because
round.
folks, this is my dad's favorite segment. It's the lightning round, and we highlight the world's most dangerous chat zone, ladies and gentlemen, the Thunderdome. If you're not familiar with the rules around here, ladies and gentlemen, let me explain. What we do here is I read 3 headlines. You choose which headline we dive into, and that, folks, is what we call democracy. So when I say that the show is run by you, we mean it is run by you, the people. So, folks, without dilly or dally, we're going to get right to it.
Oh man, I've been waiting for this for a few weeks now.
Headline number 1. Japan's bear meat vending machine proves a surprising success.
Bear meat? Like BEAR?
You heard me, Ben.
Wow. All right.
Headline number 2. Sonic employee arrested after losing bag of cocaine in customer's hot dog.
Yeah.
Put that together. Give me a second.
It does take
It takes a second to
but
put
that's
all
okay.
those components together.
Oh, what an incredible headline.
What an incredible drive up.
Yeah.
You got all your needs here.
That reminds me of that time Brutus Beefcake got the Boston subway system shut down because he worked for it and he had left his bag of cocaine out on the counter and they thought it was anthrax.
Interesting side note before we get to headline number 3. I led the anthrax chant during a Brutus the Barber Beefcake match at the Double Door for an event sponsored by Blitz Pro Wrestling some 10 odd years ago. Also busted a cinder block on the belly of Titano the Strong, who was laying on a bed of nails.
There you go.
The book of my life.
Number 3.
The book of my life is very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. And headline number 3. Man addicted to cheese has spent 60,000 K on cheddar and eats at least 2 blocks a day.
Whoa. Okay.
So,
okay.
we don't usually ramble during
this. Is tough.
It's a good
This is one of the tougher lightning rounds I can remember in a while.
After a couple of weeks, these stories build up, right? So
they build up.
So
yeah.
I know we got.
All right, hit us with those again.
We're going to do this again. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, from the top. Headline number 1. Japan's bear meat vending machine proves a surprising success. Headline number 2. Sonic employee arrested after losing bag of cocaine in customer's hot dog. And headline number 3. Man addicted to cheese has spent $60,000 on cheddar and eats at least 2 blocks a day.
I know that people want to go with number 2. Number 2 is, I think, is going to win this one.
That number 3 is going to have problems.
Someone tells me number
2.
3. Yeah, 3 is a sleeper, but still. All right. Alternate headlines from our boy Ryan Hansen here, real quick. We have bad meat machine hot dog blowhard, and they call me cheese.
Yes.
So there you go. The votes are rolling in.
Yes, get your votes in.
Adrian's going with number 2. She broke the seal. Going with number 2. Jordan going number 2. Biz going with number 2.
It is tough.
Yeah, see, I'm with Aunt Chris. 2 or 3. It's tough. I want to know about a guy that's spending $60,000 on cheese. If you eat 2 blocks of cheese, like you said, man, the constipation that guy has to go through, is it worth it? Why? What are you doing? Number two is running away with this thing.
Get your votes in. Let's go over. I'll just quick.
It might be a clean sweep at this point. There has been no official vote for anything other than number 2 at this point.
And okay,
number 2
she's
again.
going there. So
number 2.
That's a lot. Okay, all right. So
wait, yeah, maybe Aunt Chris is agreeing that it's a lot of cheese.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna power through the headlines real quick as everybody said. This is a lot to take in, so let's give everybody a fair
one more chance just to make sure to make sure everyone is in on number 2.
Did I see a GG vote? I don't think I saw a GG vote.
She did make a comment.
Hot dog. She wants in.
Both the VIPs voted for number 2, and Chris has voted for number 2. It's a clean sweep, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Rick didn't vote. He must have already bounced on us.
He's
but
like, whatever. Yeah. Cocaine and hot dogs.
Yeah, I made an appearance. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, folks, you voted. We listened. Headline number 2.
Yeah, listen. I want to know about Cheese Guy, but whatever.
Sonic employee arrested after losing bag of cocaine and customer's hot dog. New Mexico Sonic employee has been arrested after allegedly losing his bag of cocaine while preparing a hot dog, police say. Authorities say 54-year-old Jeffrey David Salazar was arrested Tuesday in Espanola after a woman found a bag of white powder inside her order. The woman, identified as Lame, told police she discovered the baggie after taking a bite of her hot dog. Officers say Gonzalez then spit out the bag, but didn't say whether she ingested any of the drugs. NBA affiliate KOB.
I didn't ingest any, officer. I swear.
But again, she identified as Lame. Yeah. I think this is pretty scary. We come here to get food for our families, and if a child found it, it could have been pretty bad or deadly. One woman told KOB TV after ordering food from the same Sonic. In a court filing, officers claimed the surveillance video from the restaurant showed Salazar frantically searching for something he lost after making Gonzalez's order.
I fucking bet. I would pay good money to watch that video. I wonder if it's out there. I bet they haven't released it. But man, once they do, we will play it here. I promise.
Salazar then admitted to investigators the drugs belonged to him and that he told them they brought them from somebody from. And he told them he bought them from someone in the Sonic parking lot. That's stupid. That's a bad business.
I think it's the other way around. I think he was selling drugs out of. I think he was selling drugs out of Sonic, and the wrong order went out. I think he was.
Welcome to Sonic. Yeah. Can I take your order, please? Yeah, I'll have the hot dog with the diet Dr. Pepper and a bag of cocaine. Will that complete your order, sir? Yeah, it will. It will. Yeah. Following the incident, Salazar was arrested and charged with possession of a controlled substance. Espanola is a town located 90 miles. It could be 90 miles too. They could be really long miles. 90 miles north of Albuquerque, which where Bugs Bunny will always tell you make a left turn at.
I like Sonic, but
I'd like Sonic a lot more.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Sonic's food's pretty good. If you add cocaine to it, holy shit!
Oh, now we're talking like what metal? I forget the Ratso the Clown.
Yeah. Yes.
Anyway, obscure, weird, early 2000s cartoon reference. But Metalocalypse, the first 3 seasons rule. Anyway, folks, welcome and thanks. To the show means a lot to us and means a lot to you because you keep showing up. So we keep pumping out the weekly content on. And on and
Yeah,
on.
if you guys keep showing up in the Thunderdome, we'll keep showing up here on Wednesday.
This is
Agreed?
This is what
All
we
right.
do. So we like having this conversation. We like this community, and we like what we're building here. So all thanks
Yes,
to everybody.
moon stuff.
Yes, and we'll always be into moon stuff. So thanks to everybody who's been on the show that participates, and especially again to our good friend Biz, who helped create the Open and get his merch at GetShiesty.com. You can also follow us on Instagram. We're Topic Thunder, the podcast. And bye-bye. Did we just lose it?
Yeah, I don't know what.